As the bus rolls up to stop, the doors open. The bus driver looks at you and he just goes to close the doors.
Oh,
again.
shit, Brian, you ruined it.
Okay. I'm going to shove the dildo in the door so it won't close.
Make a dexterity check.
A dexterity check? Got it.
Yeah.
I got a 12.
Okay.
All right. You wedge that dildo right between those doors and the bus driver says, "Hey man, you can't be doing that here. I don't get paid enough to deal with this whatever you're."
Sir,
God, smell. I can smell them from here, man.
we'll make sure that we'll keep him in his pocket. He won't smoke it anymore.
I won't smoke the dildo. You know what? To tell you the truth, and I don't like the litter, I'll throw the dildo on the ground. Just let me on the bus. Okay?
Thank you for being reasonable.
Yeah, we're going to be reasonable now.
That's actually, yeah, we should have, yes.
Okay. All right. Fine. Again, I don't get paid enough for this, so yeah. Just throw the dildo on the ground.
Quick question, Katie. Has anybody ever used a dildo to that quite that useful effect in Dungeons and Dragons before?
I mean, I'm sure somebody's used a dildo at some point in Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, but that was a brilliant. Like, I'm on the bus now. As we're on the bus, I'm like, wasn't it brilliant what I did with that dildo? And everybody, and then I'm gonna speak for everybody else, and they're like, "Yeah, you're smart, dude. You're like the smartest."
Seats away.
Yeah, you're like, well, yeah, and then you're like, you're the smartest guy in this crew. That's like basically for the people watching. Basically, for the bus ride, Brett or Ace Cannon, Anais, and Yakub tell me how smart I am and strong I am.
No, we don't.
And then we'll get to where we're going.
Speak for yourself.
They can decide that for themselves.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
You aren't in charge of the game.
Murder Brian's head has just gone to a different place in which you are all telling him how cool and smart he is. And he's just like doing that thing where you stare out the window of the bus and you're not even really watching stuff go by. You're just like kind of blankly staring.
Also strong, also heavy strength. Like they're like, God, you are muscular, So, okay, now I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. I'm just thinking about how muscular I am. You probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah. You're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett. When you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing,
Like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this.
You didn't set me up right.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
Polite
It's
about
just
it.
not the polite way to have sex.
That's just
I-
really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise.
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
What else is in the room? What can I rifle? Is there anything left for me? Can I check under the mattress in his bed and see if there's any, gold that I can keep all for myself?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What do I roll here?
Investigation.
I'm gonna investigate real quick. I'm gonna check under his mattress. I mean, at the very least, you might find his porno. Wait a minute. 19.
Oh, God.
All right. Yeah, with a 19, you check under the mattress, you find 5 gold. hidden under there, tucked away. This guy kind of liked to squirrel away his money, it looked like. You also check under the bed itself, and you do find a box of dildos and his porn.
Okay, first I want to take his dildos and that money, and I want to turn around and look at Brett or Ace Cannon, Anais, and I want to look at Jake. I forget Jake's name.
Yakub.
Yakub. I want to look at all three of them, and I want to say, all of this is mine. And then now we can maybe move out of the room.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
I start slow clapping. Yeah.
Thank you. This was a big moment for me. I found 5 gold. Now I'm going to go add that to my inventory.
Anais is worried about the unclean dildos that Murder Brian has on him.
Well, don't
And
worry
she should
about it.
be.
I carry them with me.
Just a knapsack full of them?
A knapsack full of dildos and 67 gold coins. I'm fucking doing great. I have some inventory.
But she's ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Wait till I offer somebody a dildo a little later on.
See,
I mean,
this is what
if you can make it work.
That's the plan. All right, let's roll. Let's roll out.
So, as you head over to the business district of Rapid City, are you taking a car? Are you busing? What's the plan?
I mean, I personally would walk, get my steps in, but we can take a bus.
How much
you
is the
know?
bus ride?
Like 2 copper.
Oh, that doesn't bother me at all. I got most of the money, so yeah, we can go do it. I'll pay for myself.
How generous.
Hey,
Isn't he?
no problem.
My cousin's supposed to be rich, and we're taking the bus.
I am rich. I don't want you to. I don't have a car with me right now.
Oh, that's right.
And I also wouldn't let you guys in my car because you all smell.
But dirty dildo box.
No, it's got perfume on it.
So yeah, Brian, how are you carrying these dildos?
Yeah, you have to. What's the weight for that? And
It's under my arms.
We don't do encumbrance. It's like
Okay.
video game rules here. You can just like shove things
Can I
wherever.
stand up?
But like,
You want me to stand like this in a box under my arm?
Keep them in your butt.
Yeah. Well, I got one. I got one hanging out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the box of dildos. I'm going to take one. I'm going to hang it out of my mouth like a cigar, and I'll put the box on the ground.
So you're just walk holding one.
Just one
Smoking
in my mouth
one.
like a cigar.
as the bus rolls up, you stop. The doors open. The bus driver looks at you, and he just goes to close the doors.
Oh
again.
shit, Brian, you ruined it.
Okay. I'm going to shove the dildo in the door so it won't close.
Make a dexterity check.
A dexterity check? Got it.
Yeah.
I got a 12.
Okay.
All right.
Is that good enough?
You wedge that dildo right between those doors, and the bus driver says, "Hey man, you can't be doing that here. I don't get paid enough to deal with this. Whatever your
Sir,
God, the smell. I can smell them from here, man."
we'll make sure that we'll keep him in his pocket. He won't smoke it anymore.
I won't smoke the dildo. You know what? To tell you the truth, and I don't like to litter, I'll throw the dildo on the ground. Just let me on the bus. Okay?
Thank you for being reasonable.
Yeah, we're going to
Thank
be
you.
Reasonable now.
That's actually, yeah, we should have. Yes.
Okay. All right. Fine. Again, I don't get paid enough for this, so yeah. Just throw the dildo on the ground. We're fine.
Quick question, Katie. Has anybody ever used a dildo to that quite that useful effect in Dungeons and Dragons before?
I mean, I'm sure somebody's used a dildo at some point in Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, but that was a brilliant. Like, I'm on the bus now. As we're on the bus, I'm like, wasn't it brilliant what I did with that dildo? You know, and everybody, and then I'm gonna speak for everybody else, and they're like, "Yeah, you're smart, dude. You're like the smartest."
Seats away.
Yeah, you're like, well, yeah, and then you're like, you're the smartest guy in this crew. That's like basically for the people watching. Basically, for the bus ride, Brett or Ace Cannon, Anais, and Yakub tell me how smart I am and strong I am.
No, we don't.
And then we'll get to where we're
Speak
going.
for yourself.
They can decide that for themselves.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
You aren't in charge of the game.
Murder Brian's head has just gone to a different place
Yes.
in which you are all telling him how cool and smart he is. And he's just like doing that thing where you stare out the window of the bus and you're not even really watching stuff go by. You're just like kind of blankly staring.
Also strong. Also heavy strength. Like they're like, God, you are muscular. You know? So, okay, now I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. I'm just thinking about how muscular I am.
You know, you probably.
Hey, Street Fighters, how's it going? We're glad you're here. Wednesday night, time for a street fight. I'm Brett. My co-host is Brian. We're the #1 anarcho comedy radio show on any station across the nation. You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you're watching the pre-show, you saw some highlights from our last D&D stream we did last month. We're going to continue that by doing another stream next Thursday night. And more details will be coming out about that. If you check the social medias and the Patreon, I'll make sure to post the info before it happens. We had a lot of fun playing. We're going to raise money again for Mass, Ohio, because they're doing a lot of good work out there. If you want to get in on the t-shirt, the pre-orders are over by now, but maybe you could squeak one in. I'm not very reliable at the moment, so they might be up, but I'm putting in that order very soon. And that shirt fucking rules. CM Ruiz, amazing artist, worked with a lot of people that I look up to, so I was very honored to be offered that opportunity to work with them. How's it going, Brian?
Pretty good. Pretty okay. I mean, it's been an up and down week so far. Got my second shot on Monday. Had a wild journey after that up until about, I don't know, 4 today. And then it all went away. But, wow. You know, I would really like something that makes me feel as tired as that did without the soreness. Would be a real good bonus thing for me, you know?
Sure.
Because like I find it hard to fall asleep. It made me tired. It made my whole body feel like, oh, I just want to lay down. It makes you feel like you just are carrying more weight, you know? I said, I feel like I weigh 4,000 pounds. Like I have just a backpack full of rocks on right now.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was not what I expected. People sent me the clip of me saying I wasn't going to have any side effects on Sunday. That's called hubris, for those of you who don't know what that is. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. So when it was, imagine my, this is where I found out it was a big deal. I woke up, I felt like shit, but it's like kind of like, well, I feel like shit most days when I wake up. You know, I'm tired and shit like that.
Sure.
When I woke up, I felt like really tired. My back hurt a little bit, like up around my neck and my shoulder, but I was like, you know, I thought it was going to be worse than this. Then I went to put my shirt on, and it was excruciating.
Okay.
And I was like, this might be worse than I thought it was going to be, because it hurt. To lift my arm to put the shirt on hurt.
Okay.
And my arm didn't hurt almost at all on the first shot. It didn't feel like much of anything. So I was very surprised at that point. You know, when you go to put on a shirt and it hurts, that feels like you've been injured.
Yeah,
you know? And it's not like lifting weights sore.
Or getting, you know, it's like, oh, I got tackled yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like that.
Yeah, it felt punched. Like, it felt like somebody just consistently punched me in the neck and shoulder all the way across the back. And I was like, God, that hurts. You know, that pain sucks. So I decided, because it was 44 degrees today, and I knew it was going to be 44 degrees today, and yesterday was pretty nice, I was like, well, I'm not going to miss a day of walking, because it's nice, and tomorrow it's going to be cold. Who knows if I'm going to get a walk in?
Okay.
You know, if I feel like shit and it's cold, there's really a big chance I might not do it. So I was like, I'm doing it. And I did it. And not only did I do it, but I had decided that if I didn't do the whole walk that I would do normally, then I will have lost. So I did the whole walk that I would do normally.
To prove something.
To myself.
Okay.
And my wife. Actually, when I walked in after the walk, I looked at my wife. I felt horrible, right? I feel as bad as I've felt in years. Like, remember the sinus infection on tour? How that lasted like 2 weeks and I was just like a mess, you know?
Uh-huh.
It was kind of like that, but worse. But it was shorter, right? And when I got home from my walk, I took my bags off. I took my water bottle, my stand sport off, my bag. I looked at my wife and I started shadow boxing. I went dun 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 dun, and she was like, "You're fucking crazy," because she was feeling pretty bad. And she was like, "You're fucking crazy," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, I am fucking nuts." But then, you know,
Fever Dream Walk is not a bad time, I guess.
There was just something. There is something about me that's like, if I allow something to keep me from my routine, that is weakness, and I don't want to show that.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to think of myself as not being able to handle stuff.
Okay.
So, like, I just did it. I was just like, I gotta fucking do it. And I did the whole goddamn thing. And it was like, every time I knew I was extending it, because there are several points in my walk where I can just go up one road and be home. And every time I extended it, I was like, you should not extend this. And I was like, I would get to the corner and I would lean on the stoplight pole and the stop sign poles and stuff like that. I would just lean. Like, I got to get a minute. And
Would you feel like it was working through your body? You were working it through your body or something?
yeah, I know. I just felt like if I do it, then that's pretty badass. You know what I mean? That's what a badass motherfucker does. And I did it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I would have just taken the day off. That seems like fun to me.
Yeah.
Seems like a good excuse to, like, you know, but you binge watch TV shows all the time, so
I know. I go home.
You don't have that as a treat.
I'm going to go home and watch TV for 3 hours, probably. Tonight.
I saw the screen cap of you doing the stream, and you looked horrible. You had like a blanket on you and hoodie up, and you look like you were about to cry.
Yeah, my eyes are really red.
You're so sad, and it's just like, you look like you're welled up. You're like, mouth is drooping.
Yeah, my eyes were really red because I was really tired, and when basically the stream feels like a dream now. It just felt like a dream that I went through, like a marathon. But once it was over, I went in my room, laid down, and slept for 11 hours. And really, the only part that got me bad, like really demoralized me, was when I woke up this morning and I still felt bad. And I was like,
rough.
Okay, this sucks. Because a whole day of this,
Yeah.
and then it just clears up out of fucking nowhere. Your arm doesn't hurt anymore. Nothing hurts. You don't feel bad. You feel perfectly fucking normal out of nowhere. And I was saying this to Jason earlier, you then have this thing where it's like, okay, I got both shots. I got through the side effects. And now I'm like 2 weeks from being inoculated and it feels fucking great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like such a profound sense of relief now.
But yeah, but it's like venom, like joined with your body or something.
That's
like, it seems like your whole skeleton was like, nervous system was like being infected.
Well, I was saying this. I was like, God, I fucking wish. I hope I know we got to get boosters and shit. I was like, I hope I never have to get another vaccine in my entire life. It just.
Yeah, they're coming. You gotta get
it's
the flu.
fine. You know what though? Now that I'm on the other end of it, I'm not even that scared of another one.
Okay.
You know, and they say the boosters won't be as bad
Sure.
as that second shot because you'll be kind of used to it.
Sure.
And it was just like, now it's not bad. You know, but you know, for years people have saying the flu shot takes them down. And you know, there's a lot of people that argue with each other about whether that's actually true.
Yeah.
You know? And it never rung true to me. And I think that's why I had so much hubris around this, where it was just like, no, I ain't going to do that. That's just people overreacting. Plus, this is a very bad thing, characteristic about me. And like, I know this is bad. I never believe people are as sick as they say they are.
Sure.
And it's not good that I act like that. You know what I mean? You should believe that people are as sick as they say they are. But for some reason, I think and I hate, you know, I'm not like this guy that ties everything back to capitalism, but I think that is a capitalist thing. Where it's like, you were never really sick enough not to go to work, according to management.
Sure.
If that makes sense. You know, there was no amount of sick where they were like, okay, you know, you need to stay home, Brian. They would always be like, can you make it through half the day, maybe?
Well, I would say also it's a big part of just working culture is you can't miss days. You can't lose a job. You can't really be weak. And, you know, there's lots of families that teach their kids, like, don't show signs of weakness. Don't say that you need help or that you're having a bad time. Just keep that bottled up. And, you know, it creates resentment for other people because, like you said, then you don't trust them. Like, oh, get over it, you know, or you think other people are weak. And, you know, it's just really you're jealous because you want to be vulnerable and weak sometime too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why that came out. I had an outburst today. That's why that came out.
Oh, you're all right.
Yeah.
I had a rough day.
I had a very hard day.
But I got your back all the time, dude. It's
I know.
fine.
I know.
You ain't got to worry about shit.
Yes.
But everybody in my life contacted me to ask me if you were okay. And I was like, yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, I've spent a lot of time over the past 3 weeks or 2 weeks telling people, like, I think he's okay. I think some of what he does is dark comedy and you're reading into it maybe in your own life situation.
Sure.
Where I'm like trying to explain to people that you have a dark sense of humor because they think we're such sweeties.
Sure.
And it's like, no, Brett has a dark sense. Like, he laughs at bad things. So you got to understand that if it seems bad, it might not be.
Sure.
But yeah, I was kind of like, I'll say this. I was nervous to come over here tonight.
Okay.
I did have, I wasn't even going to say this on the show. I feel bad about this now, but I was very nervous to come over tonight. I had like a tinge of anxiety. Like, is he going to fucking scream at me? And I got over here. You were fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I let out a flurry of emotions at a colleague and a friend, someone I've known for a long time. But I unloaded basically all the anxiety that I woke up today with. You know, Charlotte stayed with me for the first time last night. And, oh my God, kids are just like fucking angels. It just blows me away. I was like, so it's an apartment, you know, do you remember that place we had in DC? And she was like, the one with the washer and dryer in the living room. And I was like, yeah, that's the one. I was like, it's kind of like that. And she goes, oh, that's perfect. That's cozy. I like places that are just, you know, are comfortable like that.
Cozy.
Yeah. And we get into her room. It doesn't have a fucking bed in it. And she lays on the floor and she was like, this is amazing. This is so cool. It was just like, oh man, makes my heart melt, you know?
Yeah, that is sweet.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, too bad. I mean, good thing she's not 16 because it would have been a way different story.
Of course. Of course.
This place fucking sucks.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm doing school. I got to take her to school tomorrow morning. That's why I'm not drinking on the stream. That's why I have to get up and I don't know. I just freaked out today and I got a lot of shit going on and, you know, but I was wrong and, you know.
No. Here's the thing. Without going into any details, period, about the situation, it is not wrong to have a rough day and tell people that that's happening. And I think the only reason that it maybe freaked people out a little bit was because at that point, it makes it seem like they're going to have to deal with me as the stable one.
Sure.
In a way where it's like, oh, okay. Now, because you had a very Brian moment really, except for it was more confrontational than anything. But and I think that like it just freaks people out to think like, oh, he's gonna be the fucking one that is there, and it's like, no, Brett's gonna be fine. Like, I don't think it's wrong. I really didn't.
I need to be more open, and I need to talk about things that are annoying me, and not just have somebody like do everything that they want without me making any objections and then letting it build up. Because that's a problem I have with a lot of people, where I'm just like, please, can't you see I need some breathing room today? You know, and Dude. It's like they don't know that unless you say that, you know, and like I'm not checking in. And so then it just becomes this just violent. It's like, but it is also, it's not bad. It's just fits. It's just, like I said, I go to the grocery store. I am like, oh my God, I'm going to buy Caribbean jerk seasoning. I'm going to buy everything I ever wanted. I'm buying wasabi peas. I'm buying fresh cut green beans. I feel like
a bunch of gross shit.
I just feel like everything is open to me. My whole pantry, all this, anything I want is anything I want to eat. But at the same time, it's just like, I have to go make a meal for myself and decide these fucking things, and it makes me want to just break all the windows and run out and just kind of run away into the woods. It's just moving in between those, but I really don't feel bad most of the time. But this is just something that I can't power my way through. I'm not gonna like just ignore this shit.
I think the part about this today, what happened today, that's very, very, I guess funny to me in a way, is that some of the stuff you like flipped out about is stuff that I've been saying for like 3 months, and you're like, calm down, bro. Yeah. Hey, broski, don't worry about it, man. That's the way shit is, man. Yeah. Like, you were like Matthew McConaughey every time, and then all of a sudden I see it and I'm like, oh, okay. And then when I had to deal with it, I was like, oh, I don't know what he's talking about.
Sure.
I can't tell you the amount of relief I felt, though.
Sure.
In a way. Yeah. But we should get into some stuff. Okay. Yesterday, George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, that trial, George Floyd was executed, not found guilty, but treated as such and then executed. So, but Derek Chauvin, guilty on all charges. I didn't think it was going to happen, Brett. And I know that everybody felt pretty confident once the jury, they were like, I don't remember who I was talking to, but they basically said like the verdict came back in 10 hours and that usually means guilty. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to believe that until I hear it. Like, I have to hear it because I don't have faith. I don't have any fucking faith.
Yeah, there was no reason, I think, to have any faith until it happened.
And, like, it really made me nervous when they announced that there was a verdict. I knew there was a verdict coming at some point.
Yeah.
But I thought this was going to be one of those trials that's really long. And I was just kind of like, it'll be a couple months or something like that.
Yeah.
And knowing that there was going to be a verdict coming, I was like, I'm ready to just be heartbroken because I just am a guy that I get very despondent about stuff like that. Because I feel like that, where it's like with, let's say for like universal health care, it's like we're so far away from achieving that like a setback doesn't floor me. You know what I mean? Sure. But I feel like, and people are dying because they can't get health care. Don't get me wrong, but it feels very far away. I think that like people are dying at a very accelerated clip, and it's it feels like a hopeless situation when it comes to police violence against the black community. You know what I'm saying? That like it was just kind of like. You talk about this a lot to me about not like assigning importance, like really high levels of importance to something that I can't control.
Yeah.
And I did that. I was just like, this is important. You know, if he gets off, that means we're kind of
there's never going to be any justice here.
Sure.
You know, because this to me was, you know, we saw the video.
Right. Everybody watched it.
And we watched the fucking video, and it was a brutal murder. It wasn't like it wasn't a shooting, which is a brutal murder, don't get me wrong, but it was like a guy suffocating for 8 minutes. And when he was found guilty, I gotta say I felt relief for about 3 minutes until I found out CPD shot somebody while the verdict was being read. Makia Bryant, over in the neighborhood I grew up in, actually, is where the shooting happened, was shot. People are justifying it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Even the mayor is saying the officer took action to protect another girl in our community. And I don't know, man. Like, when it comes down to, like, I think that, like, even if the person that, first of all, was threatening her, she called the police.
Yeah.
Because people were gathered at her house to beat her up.
Right.
Or whatever they were going to do. Who fucking knows what they were going to do, you know?
Right.
And I'm not blaming them for this, you know? But, like, she did have a knife. And she had a knife because she was afraid.
Yeah.
And the police showed up. And I think that, like, even if, listen, this cop should have tried to tackle her, if anything, you know, this should have been a thing where it was like, I'm going to, like, tackle her,
grab her by the arms, yeah,
I mean,
from behind.
Shit, what good are these fucking tasers? Even?
Right.
You know what I mean? What good is it to have the tasers or pepper spray or any of that shit? But I just feel like a stabbing, I think, has a
blast
low
of pepper spray would have spread that whole place out.
Yeah, and it just feels like, and they don't mind using pepper spray on me.
Yeah.
You know, or the people in the street. And I just feel like shooting somebody 4 times in the chest because they might stab somebody, to me, seems like an overreaction. Because
I don't think you helped.
if you get stabbed, you probably, I don't know what the, thing is. I just think that a lot of people get stabbed and don't die.
Right.
You know? But when you get shot 4 times, you are dead.
Yeah.
That is a death. And there's, nothing we can really do at this point.
Yeah.
When like the police just, it's that old analogy about a hammer and a nail. You know what I mean? When you're a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. I think I got that totally wrong. But, or whatever. Yeah. I didn't say it right. I didn't say it the correct poetic way. But I just feel like the Columbus police have been on a run.
Yeah, they're awful.
Over the past, somebody said I saw today they've killed 3 people in 8 days. Like, they're on a run of brutality right now.
Dude, the pastor guy that shot Casey Goodson in the back, the guy that, the fucking creep that was going to sexually assault Donna Castleberry and then killed her when she tried to fight back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes on, and it's the worst. And I do agree. I think that I did not have expectations for the Chauvin verdict. I was just going to see what happens because it was out of my control. But I saw the guilty verdict. I was kind of surprised, and then I was like, well, this does allow them to say, justice was served. This allows them to say, we are doing something. And then they immediately fucked it up with this. And the other kid, the 13-year-old they killed in Chicago happened. I think that this summer is just going to be another wave of bigger and badder protests than we saw last year. And now people are vaccinated and can go out in the streets. And I think this is going to have to get settled in the next few years. I think that the Democrats are going to, these upper crusty Democrats and these just people that just want to put a yard sign out are going to find themselves between a rock and a hard place when they find out, what the people want and what justice is. And it doesn't line up with fucking Speaker Nancy Pelosi,
Yeah. Her thing that she said is disgusting. It's like a sacrifice is something you choose to do. You know,
Right.
You choose to make a sacrifice. He wasn't sacrificing himself. I'm sure if he had the choice, he would have chosen not to get suffocated to death on the street.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just don't know what these people think. I don't know, like, why you would say something like that. I know she's trying to be nice, you know, or whatever, but that was just a really bad choice of words, I think. And I mean, if she really feels that way, that's gross. Because again, he didn't choose that. He didn't want to become like the face of a wave of protests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to become a face of a wave of protest if it means somebody's going to kill me. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to choose that. People don't choose that.
No.
You know?
None of this. We want this to stop. We don't want to have we don't want like a greeting card reason to be inspired by these deaths. We don't want a new Instagram post or a new mural on a fucking wall to take a picture in front of.
Yeah, and you're right. The word inspired, I think, is, and I'm enraged by these deaths. I'm not inspired by them. I guess it gets me out into the street, but I'm pissed off about it. It's not an inspiring thing to me. You know what's inspiring? Is that people show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That inspires.
Other people give a damn. You don't feel alone when you know that other people are tired of this shit and don't want this to continue.
Yeah.
We don't want Columbus police in the city taking care of these problems. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
And I do agree with you that, and maybe I hope this summer does have a big wave. And I do think that, like, a lot of people that would have been up for last year didn't go. I know people that didn't go because they were afraid of COVID that are now vaccinated, and they fucking better be. All I gotta say is, if you told me you didn't want to go because of COVID, you better fucking be at these ones. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't end up getting COVID last year. If that is any consolation to you, if you're still worried about it.
I was so nervous, man. We were just down there spitting all over each other, covered in fucking shit.
Yeah.
Strangers,
Yeah.
yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, but it was outside.
Yeah.
I mean, the outdoors, it's a lot harder to catch it. But yeah, and people were wearing masks even outside. But I will be there. Tonight was a march. We're working. Yesterday was a march. I was half dead.
I'm going Saturday.
Is there one Saturday?
I'm going to double check the information because it was posted up real quick. I don't know if it's real or not. I guess I did see it in a group that I trust. So yeah, I think this Saturday they're doing something downtown. I'm not going to put it out here online. I'll share it and stuff though, I guess.
I'll be there.
I don't know.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I have Charlotte, but I'm just going to take her and stay to the side.
Yeah. I'll take Gwen and have her act like I can't believe her last year blew my mind.
Yeah.
You know, that really, I mean, they really hurt is the wrong word. They really hurt their cause with a lot of teenagers last year when they maced and beat them up.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
My daughter saw a lot of her friends from school there. Actually, I'll just say this. She did see only 2 or 3 of her friends, all the stoner kids.
Sure.
They were in the stoner kid group.
I mean, it was a lot of bad kids we're at the BLM protest last summer. Those skateboard kids I saw that like were skipping school, or no, I guess school wasn't in session. They just looked like they lived in the streets and skateboarded all day. Well, and they were kicking the most ass.
I do think that's maybe why I'm so anti-cop, is because I was a bad kid.
Yeah, I got picked on I got bothered by them all the fucking time.
Right. I knew that they were a problem.
Yeah.
Because they had been a problem to me in the past. So, yeah, I was really shocked, though, that the stoner kids from her school would have been there. But they are the kids also that I know one of them especially is like the weed dealer in the neighborhood. He lives down the street from me, which is bottom of the hill shit. So he's like my daughter. He goes to a rich kid's school and he's not a rich kid. Yeah. You know what I mean? That really shapes your opinion of what society is in a way that I wasn't, because I was like, middle class, upper middle class in a lower working class school. So like my politics took a little longer to switch, but I think my daughter, her politics
really switched because she's like, I'm not a rich kid, but all these other kids are. They're all fucking drive. I was like, she knows one kid that is a senior this year that has had a Corvette and a Porsche.
No.
In just the few years that
like a daily driver.
Yeah, well, now he drives a Porsche daily. The Corvette was he inherited the Corvette.
Oh, okay.
And it was a daily driver for a period of time, but now his daily driver is a Porsche Cayenne.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. When I heard that, it pissed me off.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Nobody
pretty
that's
nice.
18 should have a Porsche Cayenne.
You gotta earn that.
Yeah. Nope.
You gotta.
Nope.
Yeah, you gotta hustle for that.
I mean, and if the world was fair, Brett, you'd be driving that Porsche Cayenne, and he'd be driving your 2009 Prius.
Yeah. I love that Prius, though. I love watching the battery recharge itself. There's animations on it now that show, like, when it's recharging. I'm at, like, 45 miles per gallon. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I like it when it tells you, like, what you're getting per gallon when you're driving and trying to stay under where it uses gas. Yep. I drove a Prius for a while last summer, maybe the year before, but I was always trying to stay under the gas burning level.
You got to lift. Do the lift.
Yeah.
Get back on that battery. Yeah, I also filled it up, and it was like $17. I felt like I was in high school again.
How many gallons is the tank?
It's like 8 or something. It's like 7 or 8. It's tiny.
Man, mine's only 10, but man.
Oh, yours is 10?
Yeah.
Oh, that seems tiny for yours.
Yeah, both of my cars have been 10s. All right, I'm opening a snack. As everybody that listened to the call-in show knows, I'm a snack guy 24/7.
What do you got today?
White chocolate macadamia nut elevation energy bar from the Aldi's.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Probably not good for you. But better than a candy bar.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You're not doing the best. You're just doing better. And then once you have this down, you can make the best choice.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
You got to get those oats. You're like a horse doing all that running all day. You're like a fucking pack mule that needs to eat oats.
I've never loved oats more than right now. I've had overnight oats, oatmeal, now I'm eating this. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to make a morning shake with like vanilla protein powder, oats, and peanut butter, and that would usually like fill me up a ton. So throw like 2 bananas in there.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're just talking about cops. Here, plug something. Come on.
Okay. Well, if you want to watch Shark Tanks with us, if you haven't been fully vaccinated yet, you got a lot of time in the house, head to patreon.com/streetfightradio. For $5 a month, you get access to our premium audio shows like Shocktober 1, Shocktober 2, 100 Million Tons of Steel, and Get Motivated. You will also be able to watch Shark Tanks with us. So that's commentary with us yelling at the screen over shows like Undercover Boss and The Men Who Built America and The Food That Made America. There's all kinds of glorious content to watch with your friends, even if they don't listen to Street Fight. A lot of people tell me they should watch them with their friends when they're bored.
Yeah. So we were just talking about cops, and this is from Reason.com. You've probably heard this because it came out earlier last week. It came out Monday, actually. But I'm just going to read the post here. What if I told you police in your town could desensitize themselves to the idea of shooting an armed child, a pregnant woman, or a young mother for just a couple of bucks? The No More Hesitation series from Law Enforcement Targets, Inc. offers exactly that. For less than 99 cents per target, police can shoot at real-life images designed to give officers the experience of dealing with deadly force shooting scenarios with subjects that are not the norm during training.
So a little kid's face. You blast off a little kid's face.
One of them is a little kid with a gun that's like, he's smiling like cutely and holding the gun wrong. Like he's got it down here and he's like,
Like that Winnie the Pooh meme?
Yeah. Like he's holding the gun wrong.
Yeah.
The next one, the other one that they show in here is a pregnant woman with a gun pointed at you.
Okay. So you blast them?
Yeah, you got to blast them. The marketing team at Law Enforcement Targets Inc. sends along this helpful explanation for the No More Hesitation series. So this, now, we're going to go into their words.
Okay, this is what they think is the service they're providing.
This is the service this is their copy here. The subject, actually, this isn't their copy. This statement comes from, the article had come out, and, here's the 7 articles. Here's the 7 targets, Brett. Pregnant woman, older man 1, older man 2, older woman, young mother, young girl, and little brother. Those are the names of the targets. So it says, I've reached out with the Minnesota-based Law Enforcement Targets, Inc. for comment on what inspired the series and whether it's popular with law enforcement groups. Considering that the company has landed $5.5 million worth of contracts with the federal government, it might also be interesting to know if these targets are used by federal law enforcement agencies. So the cops are using these, is basically what that says.
That's like the Tamir Rice situation.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it had anything to do, like, I wonder if you could tie these things to each other, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be hesitation with shooting people. Like, we need more hesitation.
Look, I don't think that there are very many times where a pregnant woman is pointing a gun right at your face like it does in the target. You got to come over here and see these targets, dude.
Okay.
I want to show you these targets.
Can you hook up the monitor?
Yeah. Show you these targets here. Because I think when you see them, you'll think it's crazy. Here's a pregnant woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's just a totally unrealistic, like, idea. Look at this cute little boy.
Oh my gosh. He's wearing like a Terp sweatshirt or something. He's just got some like college a hoodie on.
Yeah.
Sweet little child.
And he's smiling, like, happily. Like, I'm pointing a gun at you. You know?
Yeah.
So here's their statement.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's creepy to look at, right? The subjects of NMH targets were chosen in order to give officers the experience of dealing with deadly force shooting scenarios with subjects that are not the norm during training. This is where it gets crazy. This is where it gets into real cop mindset, bro. I found while speaking with officers and trainers in the law enforcement community that there is a hesitation on the part of cops when deadly force is required on subjects with atypical age, frailty, or condition. Here's the part that'll flip you out, dude. One officer explaining that he enlarged photos of his own kids to use as targets so that he would not be caught off guard with such a drastically new experience while on duty.
Oh my God.
That cop can't be on the streets. That cop should be put in jail.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can't think that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. Sorry.
Yeah. I know there's like freedom of speech or whatever, and I totally agree with freedom of speech. I'm a big freedom of speech guy. You know, but you, sir,
gotta be stopped.
Cancel culture's got to come for you, sir.
We need to give you a nice place to stay where you can talk to somebody about your feelings and how you think the world is, and we can maybe get you some sort of remedy for this very weird inclination that you have.
I mean, what you have to? I can't think of a fucking scarier thing to me than cops blowing up pictures of their children and shooting them. Like, I can't. In order to teach them to shoot other people's children.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And, again, the pictures are these very, like, how many times are they faced with this situation? Really?
I don't know. I don't think, I can't imagine pregnant ladies are shooting at the cops.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't either. I can't imagine a lot of children are shooting at cops, dude.
Yeah.
You know? But it also feels like, and this goes to the knife story, it's like you gotta be able to, I mean, if you're standing close enough to somebody, I mean, you gotta just be able to, I'm sorry, there's personal risk in being a cop, and you gotta try to disarm them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're wearing a vest.
Right.
they're not gonna shoot you if it doesn't look like they're shooting you in the head. I'm sorry, dude. You know, you might have to take a bullet to the leg or arm or something like that. I can't fucking do anything for you.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tackle this person. You got to see if you can tackle this person. You know?
Yeah. Also, I think you don't always. If someone is so angry at you that they're pointing a gun at you, you can also like go away, figure out something else. You know?
Yeah. Go fucking take a minute to think.
Yeah. Think about
know?
the news. Yeah. Try to talk it out with them and figure something else out.
I do like. Yeah. I mean, get back in your car.
Right.
Bulletproof these cars. Get back in your car. Sit in your driver's seat and be like, all right. You know.
Well, there's also so much of this is like, you know, so much of this is a product of like the communities that we have. Like, we don't build communities. We don't offer anything except for policing. The only thing we offer is like, you know, there's no help. The jobs don't pay anything. Racism has been crippling this community since the birth of the country. But if you fuck up, the police will come kill you without hesitation.
True.
If you have an episode, if you have a bad day, you know.
Yeah, and they have to be allowed to do that too. You know what I mean? Like the whole world's gonna fall apart if they can't shoot a child. You know. The goal of NMH is to break that stereotype on the range, regardless of how slim the chances are of encountering a real-life scenario that involves a child, pregnant woman, etc. If that initial hesitation time can be cut down due to range experience, the officer and community are better served. So that's how the company feels about it.
Sure.
I do think, again, that like hesitation, probably this idea that they shouldn't hesitate to kill somebody doesn't square with like what I guess, you know, I would want in a force that's patrolling communities.
Agreed.
You know,
and it's the same thing of the Dante Wright thing. It's like, oh no, he's driving away. So what? That's not a death sentence.
Right. Yeah.
This person doesn't want to go to jail. They're going to drive away.
Yeah.
What did they haven't done anything violent at all. They haven't lived within the bounds of the floral community.
Yeah.
the plant guidelines of the fucking United States government.
I do agree with that too. Also, is like, you don't have to kill somebody. I mean, first of all, the police shouldn't be able to have this expectation that people won't resist arrest.
Sure.
Because, listen, I feel like if I was writing the Constitution, I would have put like the right to resist arrest in the Constitution. Because I feel like that's a God-given right to be allowed to resist arrest. Nobody wants to be arrested. You know? And I also think that, okay, here's first of all, I don't think people should be getting arrested. Very rarely arrest people. You know what I mean? But like, if you don't have a gun, you should be able to resist as much as you want. You know, because a gun, you could actually just kill somebody to death.
Sure.
You know? But like, it shouldn't be considered resisting arrest unless you're pointing a gun at somebody. Otherwise, it should just be considered arrest.
Right.
I'm being arrested, so I punched the guy in the nose and I got away.
Right.
So let's move off this cop stuff because it feels like a battle that is depressing, and I want to play something for you, Brett.
Okay.
Play some audio. This is for a book series. A children's book series, Brett.
Okay.
We like children's books.
Of course.
Not really, but I mean, kids like them.
I read some. I have to read them.
You do have to read them. So let's get this rolling here.
The good ones are good.
Hey parents, kids like us have a problem.
Okay.
Kids like us.
They have a problem.
Kids like us.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know who us is yet.
Well, you're about to find out. Kids like us, meaning, I think I'll help you out here. Young. Like, way young kid.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I'm only 8 years old.
Gee willikers. I think these kids look to be about 6, 7.
Okay.
and it's one that you can help solve.
But most parents aren't even aware the problem exists.
Here's the issue. Most schools today aren't teaching...
It's too loud, maybe?
Is it too loud?
Someone says blowing the mic out.
Ah, okay. Let me fix. I can fix that. All right, here we go. We'll go back a touch. We'll start it over. Here we go.
Hey parents, kids like us have
Better?
a problem, and it's one that you can help solve.
But most parents aren't even aware the problem exists.
Here's the issue. Most schools today aren't teaching young kids some really important concepts.
Okay.
What concepts are we thinking? Maybe I'm trying to think of some concepts schools can't be teaching kids.
I bet it's common sense.
Well, maybe my kid has been learning math.
Okay.
My kid has learned a lot about science.
Creationism?
I will say this. The payoff is better than creationism. Creationism would be fun, right? But here we go.
Like how the economy works, or what our rights are, or the definition of true laws.
Back before you were...
What?
Okay.
One more time.
I'm going back.
Of true laws.
Back before you were born, schools often taught the principles of a free society.
But not anymore. That's why our parents have us read
The
Tuttle Twins. These books teach children about economic and civic truths that we need to learn, and there's nothing else like them in the world.
Each book covers a different topic, helping us learn how the world really works.
For example, these books teach
froze.
kids things like how the free market is the key to prosperity.
It's not working?
No, it's fine. I'm sorry, the stream froze. So this is the Tuttle Twins, and these are conservative kids books because the schools have been taken over by commies and cultural Marxists that are telling kids that it's not okay to judge someone by their race.
Yeah. Here. I went back a little bit. You got to hear this.
Really works. For example, these books teach kids things like how the free market is the key to prosperity, the history of the money we use, what our rights are and why we should protect them, how kids can be entrepreneurs.
What?
Brett, how kids can be entrepreneurs. Cuban. And they are going to teach them how to become an entrepreneur. I got to say, I'm not teaching my kid how to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to teach that. You don't need to teach that in schools. That's like how conservatives will be like, I don't want them teaching sex education to my elementary school kid. And it's like, well, I don't want them teaching my elementary school kid about being an entrepreneur.
You're right. Yeah, didn't they make Gwen make a business up in like elementary school or something? She had to come up with...
Yeah, they each got kind of assigned a business. And then they did this thing called BizTown, where then they spent like an hour in the auditorium doing business with each other.
Like making deals, like, I work at a hair salon, so I'll provide haircuts for your entertainment company.
Yeah, which that's kind of like communism a little bit, because we're all like kind of, you know what I mean? We're all trading our skills instead of money, which I agree with that.
Sure.
But they called it BizTown, and I think it was more of a capitalist learning. But what a twisted thing to start teaching your kids when they're like 7.
Imagine pulling up to like a lemonade stand and you buy it, and then the kids look at you and say, the free market is the key to prosperity.
That would bum me out.
You live in a gated community, kiddo.
Yeah. And even if you don't, you're bumming me out, kid. I don't want to hear this.
Definitely want to be my own boss someday, and these books will help.
Kids like us absolutely love these books. Maybe because they don't treat us like little children.
Well, you're children.
Yeah. Be that.
Yeah, you don't even know what it's like to be treated like a little child because you're a little child.
7 years old. I should be able to run my own business. These minimum wage laws and these minimum age laws have ruined the prosperity of this country.
I know. Hey, kid, act your goddamn age. You know, they usually say act your age, and you're supposed to be like, yeah, that means act older. For me, it's like act your age because you're acting like you're 47.
Yeah.
Cut it out. And it's cruel that these kids' dad made them do this.
Yeah, this is like, what if I took all of my brainwashing and we put it into a 5-year-old?
It's a book. We got to get these books, I think. This is just a commercial for the books.
I bet they weasel their way into the schools. I've seen all kinds of weird stuff at the Scholastic book fairs that I was kind of like, I wish they didn't sell that book. It's just weird by like companies like Musket Printing Company, and it's just like, let's learn about freedom. And it's like, yeah, you have a twisted idea of fucking freedom.
Yeah, I do remember seeing like a book in my daughter's school when she was in elementary school, which in her district is just 1st through 3rd grade. And it was, or kindergarten through 3rd grade was elementary there. And then they moved up to middle school and 4th grade. And I remember being in the library and seeing a book called 9/11. And it had a picture of Osama bin Laden, George W. Bush, and the Twin Towers like falling down with Bush holding the thing. And I was like, I mean, this doesn't have to be here. I just don't know if a 3rd grader needs to learn about 9/11. I'm sorry. I maybe don't even think they should have learned about 9/11 when 9/11, like if you were teaching 3rd grade when 9/11 happened, you should have just kept on with what the lesson plan was that day. Those kids don't need to see that shit. There's plenty of time to explain that to them when they're old enough to understand what it is to have 3,000 people die.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do this. Parents, you don't have to make your kids have your politics. I think the way that conservatives get this so wrong is that like their beliefs are so not natural.
Yeah.
To somebody's like, especially a kid's way of thinking, because kids are decent people.
Right.
That still think like the world isn't made up of horrible people trying to win at your expense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
they're not
like
cynical.
Yeah, and I think that's where conservatives get this wrong, is like they're still just being like, this is your beliefs, kid. You know, these books seem like somebody just said, this is what you believe. And read this, or not read this, but like I'll tell you what you're supposed to say, and then you just say it and made this video, you know?
Yeah.
Because no kid cares about the free market. I just don't fucking care how old that a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old does not care about the free market.
No, I'm with you 100%. I don't know. This is it's weird because it's just like, you know, I'm 9 years old, and instead of mowing lawns, I rented my lawnmower to my friends that don't have a lawnmower so they can mow lawns. You know, like it's, you know, like instead of doing work, like I created a small business instead, just something stupid.
Yeah,
like
I'm a manager. Actually, like
everyone always jealous of my Lego collection, so I rent my Legos now and get $5 a week.
Yeah, like kids just like naturally want to share.
Yep.
Not naturally want to share. Sometimes you have to make kids share, but in the end,
the baby ones don't. But once it's 5 and 6 and 7, they all just want to get along.
Yeah, they just want to play with their friends.
Yeah,
and conservatism is about anything but, like, it feels like you're turning your kid into a 8-year-old businessman. Is that like really what you want your child to be? Like they talk about how, these leftists want to take away the kid's childhood by teaching them about sex education or LGBTQ stuff and shit like that. And it's like, you want to fucking turn them into a a CEO.
Yeah.
When they're kids. You want them to fucking know about the law. Like, what the fuck does a kid have to know about the law?
Yeah, you want them to hang out in an auto garage when they're 10 years old and learn how to do an oil change, and then start, you know, charging their basketball team's dads, you know, $15 to do the oil change instead of the 19 from Walmart.
Yeah, if you buy all the parts, then all you got to do is pay for the oil. Yeah. You can the money will come in, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's these just like, this isn't, it's not applicable to everyone. Like the people that can enjoy these kind of things and can just like start businesses out of nowhere, they're not. They already have something going for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like people. I don't know. I'm kind of lost on it, but it is.
Instead, they help
kids
us
are
learn
annoying.
important ideas and develop critical thinking skills.
Chances are your kids are missing out on learning these things, especially in a way that's fun and enjoyable for the whole family.
And even better, when you buy this set, you also get the awesome activity workbooks for free.
Now listen, there are a lot of crazy ideas out there, and you need to prepare your kids.
Yeah, if you want to raise a free thinker, you're gonna need something that teaches about freedom.
So purchase your books now.
A free thinker. Someone that, kiddos, the guidebook for free thinking is out there. It's the dang Constitution.
I can't think of a more free thinker than a kid. Like, kids are very free thinking.
True.
Like, they will just ask you, like, why am I going to pay for stuff?
Yeah.
You know, that's free thinking.
Yes, that's true.
Why don't they have a water fountain that has ice cream come out of it? And it's like, hey, I don't fucking know, kid. I wish they did.
One of our friends' kids said, I'll just steal to get ahead. And they were like, well, that is an option, but like you won't get caught.
It's free thinking, though.
It's free thinking, yeah.
Purchase your books now.
But be careful, your kids will learn ideas that many adults don't even understand.
Oh, God.
It makes for some really interesting dinner conversations.
Poindexter, it's the Poindexter camp. You're going to try to raise a fucking roller backpack kid.
That's
or
true.
like a brings a briefcase. Back in my day, brings a briefcase to school.
So I got hip to this by K. Thor Jensen, who posted this video, which is a commercial for the animated series of the Tuttle Twins.
I believe I have been advertised these before because I'm a parent and I like a lot of other book companies. But I never clicked in to see how insidious it was. I really thought it was just corny books.
Well, this guy gives you a way better idea than the kids reading. I just like the creepy idea of a kid reading about, or a kid saying, it teaches you about free market stuff. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I played the audio. Now is the commercial for the TV show
We can
that they're making.
We can buy candy with our $10, but if we put our $10 with 10% compound interest provided by the stock market, by the time we're 80, we'll have $100,000.
Let's have an adult explain this to us now.
Hi, I'm Daniel Harmon, creator of Tuttle Twins, an animated show that teaches kids to stand up for freedom.
That teaches kids to stand up for freedom. Like, now you're just turning kids into 75-year-olds, you know? Like when the Tea Party people used to put on the Benjamin Franklin costume with the tea bags hanging from it.
Yep.
That's what now you're turning your kid into one of those.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I'd want my kid to turn into. Man, that right there, that's bleak. You know?
Yeah, you're gonna an eagle pin, like the kid that wears like an eagle pin on their lapel or something.
A kid that wears a lapel.
Yeah.
You know, they are trying to raise kids that wear suits to school.
Yeah.
Actually, let's be straight here. They're homeschooled anyway. They don't have, but they still
You're
probably
right.
make them put on a suit to be homeschooled. Because if you're freaking out this much about the school teaching your kid, I mean, really innocuous things. They don't like bring your kid in and talk about communism.
I know. I mean, I hate the schools. I mean, I really do. But like, they're doing a big mix of they're still doing Pledge of Allegiance. They still do Jesus Christ Superstar. They still do all kinds of corny ass shit. They still do Susan B. Anthony horse shit. Like, there's so much propaganda in fucking school. Like, you haven't been there. Like, you aren't paying attention. You're too lazy. You think you know better, and you haven't paid attention to the education because it's all very fucking annoyingly patriotic.
Yes. It is. It is.
This is someone that's too afraid to find out what public school is, and so yeah, they're homeschooling.
Or the kids brought home like a workbook packet about like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, and the parents were like, "I don't want my kid learning that shit." You know, like. Yeah. I think that's as left as they get, and they divorce all of that even from being a leftist, you know? I mean, if you're really mad about what your kids are learning in school, it's for racism reasons.
Sure.
Because they're not learning about communism. maybe not learning about capitalism, but listen, if you don't want kids to learn about communism, then they shouldn't learn about capitalism. I'm fucking sorry, you know?
Yeah.
Because they don't teach, trust me, when your kid's in high school, you are not going to be happy with how they teach about communism.
Yeah. Right.
Like, here we go.
Hollywood will never make this show, so we're crowdfunding it without them. I'm a father of 7 kids and a big fan of freedom.
7 kids and a big fan of freedom. Man, people with more than, listen, I had one and was like, I don't think I can do this a second time. You know, I'm just not even having 2.
Don't get outnumbered. That's my opinion on it. You know.
That's a good point.
Big families are great. You know, I do jealous and all that, but just don't get outnumbered, I think is the best, because you can't keep tabs on all of them after that.
That is true. And once they get once they get past ages where they're like kind of achieving or up their skill level, like I really liked that I had an only child, because once it was like, oh, she can make her own cereal, now I can sleep in for the rest of my life again.
Yeah.
Once she's able to do this next thing, it's like, oh, now I can go wherever I want without worrying about leaving her at home.
Yeah.
You know?
We're getting very close to that for my house.
Yes, you are. It's not too far.
She does it sometimes, but other times she's a baby. And sometimes she takes a mess, but she can do cereal and milk.
You just gotta, basically, you gotta make it more appealing. I think in a way you kind of gotta make it more appealing for them to do it than to have you do it, whether it's by complaining or just saying like, no, you're just getting this and that's what you're getting. I'm not gonna make you something special. 'Cause I think sometimes when they act like a baby, it's because they think they're getting pancakes or something. It's like, nah, you ain't getting pancakes. The pancakes days are over, kid. I don't make pancakes anymore now that you can pour your bowl of life. Okay?
I got a waffle iron and I'm a waffle maniac, so I do like to make waffles.
I do too.
Whenever I have the opportunity.
I do too.
Growing up, I had an uncle who taught me to understand principles of freedom, like free markets, individual rights, limited government, and common sense economics.
Do you think his uncle started teaching him this when he was like 8? And if one of my kids' uncles taught him that, I would say you're not allowed to see your uncle anymore. Hey, that's the creepy uncle. That's the definition of the creepy uncle. The one that's teaching my kid about free market economics.
Limited government.
Limited government's a wild thing to say to like kids, you know? No, but the government, yes. There is a Senate, there is a House, it's gotta be limited. You gotta understand, very limited. And what that means is they have unlimited power and money to fight wars or pay for killer cops. There is no money for anything that could be good or benefit you.
Yeah, don't expect anything at all. The founding fathers loved us. They wanted us to be on our own.
Yeah. Yes, there is a government with a lot of money.
Yeah.
They use that money for airplanes that drop bombs.
And don't fly.
Yes, and don't fly. Or to kill people. They basically use that money to kill people, but don't go asking them to heal people or anything like that. They're not in the business of that. Hell, they're barely in the business of educating people. Really. They try to get away with the least amount of money for education as possible.
Yeah.
Cheap government. They're so cheap. They'll pay the military like $5,000 for a toilet, but they won't pay for like schooling for people.
Yeah.
Dad, I got really discouraged that there weren't any good books or shows to help teach my kids the principles of freedom like my uncle had taught me. That's when I found the Tuttle Twins books. The books clearly taught these principles of freedom better than anything I'd ever seen before. I bought the first copy and every one published afterwards and read them with my kids. I love them so much, my team and I partnered with Connor Boyack, the author of the books, to bring these principles of freedom to life in an animated show. We want to create a show as funny as The Simpsons.
That's impossible. I'm going to tell you, that is a lofty motherfucking goal there.
Whoa!
Hey, we want to make a show as funny, well, maybe now Simpsons,
Yeah.
You would
They
think
get the
that
Simpsons runoff. They'll
Yeah.
hire some Simpson runoff writers.
you would think that they would have said South Park. I thought that was the conservative guy show. As funny as South Park.
I think that's too crude for them.
Yeah, that's true. As
don't know.
funny as The Simpsons. Yeah, a guy with 7 kids has got to be a Christian. I just feel like
he
everybody
doesn't have
with
a
7
South Park time.
Yeah. I just feel like everybody that's got a kid, got a bunch of kids, is a religious person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't, like, maybe there are listeners that have a bunch of kids that aren't religious people, but I feel like that's a strictly.
That's a quiverful lifestyle.
Yeah. I have 7 kids because I fucking love raising kids.
But as family-friendly and educational as the Magic School Bus. And last year, thanks to thousands of investors like you, we became the #1 crowdfunded kids film project in U.S. history. We surpassed Oscar
depressing.
Fair Love and even Bee and Puppy Cat by the creators of Adventure Time.
Oh, man. They passed Dragon's Lair. They were going to make a goddamn Dragon's Lair movie. By Don Bluth.
Whoa.
And these conservatives funded this piece of crap. You know?
Yeah. They stole it away from us.
They stole a Dragon's Lair movie and Bee and the Puppy Cat by the creators of Adventure Time and the Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, those are 2 heavy hitters.
I know. They top crowdfunded film project for kids, you know? I don't think Dragon's Lair's for kids, though. That would be more for people my age.
Yeah, it's for 40-year-olds.
Yeah. People just think all cartoons are for kids.
They still do.
And I feel like fully 70% of cartoons are for adults now.
Well, I also think it's weird, too, when people our age are like, no, this is a great cartoon. It's like, no, it was a cartoon that you were made to watch when you were a kid. If you had a choice, there would have been other things, you know? If you would have had any of the cartoons that they have now, you would have chose those.
True.
There's no reason that you're going to put some of this old shit in front of these kids and make it make sense.
That's true. The cartoons that we liked as kids were way more cynical, you know?
Yeah.
I tried to get my kid to watch some of the Don Bluth movies, specifically An American Tail, which was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. Okay. There are no cats in America and the streets are made with cheese.
Wonderful.
Was just a great fucking song, you know? And I like that Don Bluth animation quite a bit. I liked a lot of those Don Bluth movies. All Dogs Go to Heaven. You know, I didn't like Disney stuff, though, growing up. Too family-friendly for this guy. You know, I want something that's got some edge.
Yeah.
I want something where people get killed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice when people get killed.
And a kid's...
It really, really ramps it up.
Yeah.
Well, what about the story of 9/11, Brian?
Oh, no. You think there probably is a 9/11 reference in the Tuttle Twins. Like, it's like the Magic School Bus. Like, they travel back in time so that they could be in the building during 9/11 because they need to know what happened to our great nation.
With the help of your investment and other private investors, we are producing the first 6 episodes of the show. This means we are only 6 more episodes away from funding the entire first season of Tuttle Twins. That'll be a whole season of TV dedicated to teaching your kids about freedom. So here's the really exciting part. In partnership with Angel Studios, we're opening the opportunity to invest in Tuttle Twins once again. Unlike other crowdfunding platforms where you get a poorly made t-shirt, you're not donating to this project, you're investing. That means if the show makes money, you make money. If this sounds like your kind of show, click the link to invest in Tuttle Twins today. While we can't guarantee profits, we think we have a great shot at success.
You're not going to make profits.
Because people are hungry for this message.
This is great, too. It's like, I'm not donating money, I'm investing.
Yeah.
I'm investing in the hottest new show since The Simpsons. The longest running fucking animated show ever.
Widely considered one of the funniest shows that's ever been on TV. Like The Simpsons, it could, if somebody came to me and said, the funniest thing that has ever been on TV in the history of the medium is The Simpsons, I would entertain that argument.
Sure.
In a second. That is a fair argument. It's not my favorite show. I liked it for like 4 seasons or something like that. There's like the period where it was like people, I think it's the period where everybody thought it was good. And basically the reason I liked it so much is because it was on TV after I got off work every day for like years. They would show 2 back to back.
Yeah.
and I would just get home from work and lay on the couch and watch The Simpsons. And it probably was just me being like, oh, I'm glad I'm home from work.
Love those
Books
Simpsons.
have now sold over 2 million copies, and demand is skyrocketing.
Oh, that
Second,
sucks.
this show is merchandisable. Of the top 5 highest-grossing media franchises of all time, 4 of them have been for kids.
They put Pokemon, Hello Kitty, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, and Star Wars.
Whoa.
As the highest grossing media franchise, which is true. Hey, I believe that is true.
You think
I don't think the Tuttle Twins have the same earning power as Pokemon, Hello Kitty, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, or Star Wars.
Imagine 20 years from now, someone on Facebook posting something like, hey, we're thinking about doing a Tuttle Twins vacation. We're looking to stay at the resorts. We've got a budget of like 5 to 10,000. We want to keep it on the low side, but we want to hit all the parts. We want to hit Constitution Island. We want to hit Libertyville. We want to spend a whole day in Libertyville. We want to be able to get some, some of the Founding Father snacks, get some hay pennies and some hardtack and, all the fun stuff.
A Tuttle Twins amusement park would basically just be an amusement park, but you bring your kids there and they work. Run the amusement park.
you earn your ticket. You are going to do vending for the next 4 hours. That's how you get into the park. And then the rest of the day we can have fun.
Yeah. So the first 4 hours is setting up the park, and you can only come in 4-hour increments. So the first 4 hours you go in there, you open, and then you get to play for the rest of the day. And then in 4 hours after that, a new group of kids can come in and work 4 hours to help those kids. And basically it's just, you have to work at this thing.
Yeah.
That's just all there is to it.
Or maybe you do a shift and then that gives you a ticket for the next day.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Yeah, you do have to do 8 hours.
Yeah,
That's not going to teach you nothing about conservatism if you don't do 8 hours.
Yeah.
This fucking, like a 9-year-old kid going home and cursing out their parents because they just worked all day.
Like, don't touch me till I get in the shower.
Yeah.
I'm fucking filthy.
Did you have fun at Tuttle Twins Land today? Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I hate these customers.
You dropped fries. You've dropped fries before. These fucking guys came in to take over my shift. They couldn't drop fucking fries. I had to do overtime.
Let's open a libertarian amusement park.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bring your kids. We'll teach them the value of $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, fiat currency.
Yeah. We will tax them because, God dang it, that's how it is. You know, we got to give them real life lessons.
Then when you do get your day, there's like a indoor dark ride where you get in and it's a fucking car that it's like a 57 Chevy that just pollutes and there's just smoke coming out of the back of it while you drive by like all these factories pumping smoke in the air. It's called Smokeland.
Okay, the smoke. Yeah, Smoky Island.
Yeah, like you pull around the corner and there's like a cute bear dumping waste into a river.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look, he can freely carry his pistol with him. He's shooting it in the air. This is great. Actually, there'll be a shooting range there.
Yeah.
With 22s, because kids don't need to be shooting 40.
Oh, no. They got to earn that. But yeah, there'll be a 22 shooting range for all the kids.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, my mind's kind of blown by this highest grossing media franchises thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. So number one is Pokemon, okay, which makes sense because they made it because you have to buy a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can't even be into Pokemon if you're not spending a bunch of money on Pokemon. I don't know how it works, but I know you got to buy a bunch of shit.
Yes.
Hello Kitty, I know, is very popular, and it is popular with adults too.
Yeah, long lasting since the 70s. That's just as like a true staying power.
But the number 3 above Mickey Mouse and Star Wars being Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh also old. Well, not older than. Is it older than Mickey?
Yes, by 4 years. But they weren't really merchandising the shit out of stuff until recently.
Winnie the Pooh ain't as big as Mickey.
It's bigger.
I know.
Grossing.
Because everybody loves him. I mean, he's a treasure.
I mean, I did
Winnie
know a
the
lot
Pooh's-
of girls that I went to high school with that had a Winnie the Pooh or Piglet or Tigger tattooed on them.
That is, yep. Yeah,
Like
it's
an
just like-
Eeyore, all
Yep.
of them. And I know that my favorite kids show character of all time is Eeyore. Like I
Eeyore.
actually do love Eeyore.
I mean, Eeyore's one of the true kids characters that, honestly, this is someone you're gonna have to be around these people when you get older. Maybe you are one,
And you can still identify with them when you're an adult.
Yeah, and still
they
still hang out and shit, but you're just like, man, fucking Eeyore, come on.
He's being an Eeyore over there. Oh no. I like Eeyore a lot because he is like a thing. He likes fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he doesn't have fun or doesn't like to have fun, but he just don't want to do nothing.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? He's just like, ugh, God, I gotta go out. Like he's definitely like that stereotype of the person who's like, I don't want to go to the bar tonight, and ends up being the most lit person at the bar. He's having the best time of the night.
Yeah,
That's Eeyore.
Right.
Tigger gets drunk too early and passes out.
Yeah.
It like ruins everybody's night. But Eeyore's never gonna ruin your night.
No.
He might complain, but he'll do it in a fun way.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm saying is I'm Eeyore.
Sure. We know.
Mickey Mouse, and then Star Wars. I just always thought Star Wars sold the most merchandise of all time.
I agree. I mean, those are all owned also by like Disney as well. So
Is Pokemon owned by Disney?
Pokemon is Nintendo, so it's not.
And Hello Kitty, I don't think.
That's also Sanrio, so that's not.
Sanrio's.
Sanrio.
Oh, Sanrio. Disney will own them someday.
No, I don't think so.
Is Sanrio big?
Yeah, they have a ton of characters.
Oh, not just Hello Kitty?
No, they have like Karapi and Batsmaru and all kinds of... And Gudetama, you know that egg?
Oh, well,
launched-
I know Gudetama, but only because your kid's into Gudetama.
Gudetama's a new one, too. Like, so they're pumping them out still.
Man, those are Japanese brands. I like Japanese brands because they can beat us.
I did think Nintendo would be on there, though, because, I mean, Mario Brothers is a standard part of American life.
I think they're calling... I think they're saying specific franchise.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that. I'm sure Marvel will be there. I'm sure Marvel's going to be there in 5-10 years once they've made more than $100 billion. Because Pokemon has made $92,121,000,000 is what this thing says.
And this is the Tuttle Twins trajectory.
Well,
This guy got 7 little kids out of bed and his wife. He did the presentation in front of them, and they said, "Wow, Dad, you're going to be bigger than Mickey Mouse." And he believed him.
He's success pilled.
Yes.
He just really I've never seen a guy more lofty in his ambition, really. There's a part of me that's like, you can't realistically think it's possible for you to make a conservative thing that is as big as any of this stuff, because they're not even ideological. You know what I mean? These are things that's like, you're not going to you might turn down conservatives because they get mad about everything, but these aren't things that like you could even call political. Like, once you're doing something that's conservative, I mean, I would like to hope that most people, when they started reading a book and they started talking about the concept of the free market, they'd be like, I don't know if I want my kid reading this. It seems a little weird, you know?
Not really, though. I mean, this is a certain kind of parent, you know?
Yeah.
This is just he's talking to his people.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to them, like, yeah, that's right. Nobody knows a goddamn thing anymore, you know? These schools aren't teaching the right lessons. It's just ignorant ass, arrogant people. He's like reaching out to them.
The Simpsons.
We know better.
He's got this.
And once people find out we know the secrets to success and the Tuttle Twins are going to teach it to our children, boy, they won't be laughing at us anymore. They won't be laughing at us for making our own clothes. Not anymore.
And the grand majority of the tens of billions in revenue has come from merchandise. We specifically designed our characters to be merchandisable, and we're already working with manufacturers to produce plushies, t-shirts, and other capitalist goodies.
Other what? He said capitalist goodies?
Let me go back. Because, yes, he did say that.
Manufacturers to produce plushies, t-shirts, and other capitalist goodies. The test audience of my kids and others are
okay. Got it.
We have
we get it.
World
Freedom
class
Coffee
team to bring this show to life. Our writers have written on hit shows like The Chica Show and Studio C, and have been featured on shows like Conan and America's Got Talent.
Wait, what was the show? One more time. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put my other earphone in here. What was the shows? Go back.
I'm gonna go back.
Stick out to me as.
But I think I could go back
Studio
17
C
times. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I think I could go back 15 times and you're still not gonna give it here.
Our writers have written on hit shows like The Chica Show and Studio C.
A Chica Show and Studio C.
The Chica Show.
The Chica Show.
And Studio C. I need to look at what channel the Chica Show is on.
Okay,
and Studio C.
I'm looking for Studio C.
Okay. You got to tell me what channel it's on, because that's what I'm interested in.
It's a Voodoo watch free comedy from 2003.
No, that's not successful. Oh, okay. The Chica Show is on Disney Channel, but is it on Disney Plus? Let me see.
Okay, so Studio C is a YouTube sketch comedy channel too.
God.
But the number one thing for Google, it says people also ask, are the members of Studio C Mormon?
Oh my God.
So I know what their brand of comedy is, maybe not Simpsons. Simpsons might be a little too, over the edge for Studio C.
The Chica Show is not on any streaming services.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up streaming because it would be unfair for me to say it. But if your cartoon is not on a streaming service at this point, no, it's not on any of them.
They're going to sell them books that teach kids that you don't have to feel responsible for taking advantage of the laws of other countries to get your products manufactured. All your capitalist goodies.
Are the Studio C people Mormon? Well, that's probably a good show.
Yeah, it's probably a good, clean Mormon comedy.
Now I'm interested. Now you got me interested.
At the end of it, they're like, "Have a seat. Let's talk about your relationship with Lord Jesus Christ
of Latter-day Saints."
They're going to bring it up at the end. They're going to try to pitch it to you at the end of every fucking show.
Have you heard at all about the prophet Joseph Smith? He saw some gold plates and then he said, "God won't let me show them to you, but believe me, they're here," and I'm writing it down.
Yep.
That is the craziest story to me. I mean, I guess like when you believe in God, you're going on faith of something you don't know. So why not just believe a guy that says he saw some gold plates?
Yeah, I think being more agnostic-y, or just in the way of like maybe there's some special thing that animates all of it. But once another human says they know what happened or they are it, like it's over. That's not true.
Right. If you were alive at the same time as Joseph Smith, you wouldn't believe him. I would.
He did pretty good.
He did. He did.
I think people believed him.
If Joseph Smith came around now, it would be a total fail though.
Yeah, you got a different hustle these days though.
Yeah, you got to do like Tim Ferriss, sort of thing, or like Gary V. Vaynerchuk.
No,
isn't that what's the religion? Who's the good religion guy?
I don't know.
I guess I would be the guy that would know that on this show.
Yeah.
Kenneth Copeland does really well. I'm trying to think of who's there for young people, because that's, I guess there is that church that's in town that used to be at the movie theater.
Uh-huh.
And it's got a lot of really young sort of hip type parents.
Rock City
Church. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
They lost their movie theater because it got sold.
I feel like you got to go cult. I would just go cult if I was Joseph Smith in this day and age.
Yeah. I just think that
that's what he did.
That Mormon story is wild to me.
I don't know the Mormon story.
Joseph Smith went to the woods and God, I think, handed him some plates with all this stuff written on them. And then he took it back and wrote the Book of Mormon. And then people were like, hey, can we see the plates? And he was like, oh, no, you're not allowed to look at those.
Oh, shit.
You know?
Yeah. Damn. You know, I knew you were going to ask that. I mean, but God wants you to have faith.
I mean, why didn't he just buy the gold plate?
Yeah, you're right. He could have just totally...
Just buy the plates, dude.
Spoof it. Yeah. Spoof it. Go hide him in the woods. Go hide him in the woods. Say, hey, I heard something over here. Oh, I discovered... Everybody saw me. I discovered these magical plates. I'm the chosen one. It says whoever shall find these plates is the chosen one. That's me.
I love the idea. I love that. Was that me and you watching something where they talked about this guy who like had convinced everybody that he was like really lucky, and it's because he would go to the woods and say like, hey, we're gonna go on a treasure hunt, and he would bury like a jar full of quarters, and then him and his friends would like go out to the woods, and he'd be like, let's find some treasure, and they would like randomly dig for a little bit, but then he would find like a jar of quarters. And he did that multiple times, and I think he ended up getting busted for doing something later on that was like, oh, you know, right. Like, hold on.
But if it's just to build character, if it's just to like prove that you're lucky, I think that's good.
I mean, I don't care. It doesn't get you thrown in jail, you know. Well, it shouldn't.
You know what? I'm not very good at the working life, but I tell you what, if I go out into those woods right now and start digging, I'm going to find a jar of quarters. I just every time I go out there, I just can't help it. I'm so dang lucky.
God damn it! I can't find this. I'll have to try to find this story because there is like a story about a guy who buried a jar of quarters and then found them, and then just kept saying like, I'm really lucky, and then he would fucking like do another one, and it, you know how it is when you like, here's the problem, dude. When you start a lie that's gonna tell a story when you're 8 years old, you're never gonna get in front of it at that point. You know, because it has to ratchet up. The lie has to keep ratcheting up and telling a story. So then when you get to like the 30-year-old mark, people are like, all right, I'm sick of the jar of quarters. Is there a new treasure that you can find? And then they have to go find another treasure. Let me see if I type scam in here, if I can find it, because the story's really funny. All right. Well, I didn't find it, but it's fine. I actually, before we get out of here, I did see a story this week, Brett, that would crack you up about this con artist. Oh, did I tell that story about the con artist woman who ripped off Jason Kidd's wife twice?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I told that on the Sunday show. Yes. Sorry. Well, let's finish this video out and then we'll roll out here.
And have been featured on shows like Conan and America's Got Talent. Our producer worked at Blue Sky Studios on movies like Ice Age 5, The Peanuts movie, and Ferdinand. Our artists have worked
big
on
hits
shows for Netflix, Disney, Warner
Birdman?
Brothers, and Nickelodeon.
Ferdinand.
Oh.
Remember Ferdinand?
Yeah, I seen it.
You liked it, didn't you? I think I remember you saying you liked Ferdinand.
No, I like the other one.
You hate animated movies, it feels like. You told me that you watched Soul. And it was good, but you hated it. And I was like, hey, you sound like me now. Now you're speaking my language.
Well, no, I don't know. I think I don't like how adult-oriented they are, you know, and how much they're, like, performing for me. I guess it's nice, but I'm just like, no, man, this is a kid's movie. This isn't, like... Soul just felt like a movie for, like, middle-aged people to, like, hug their kid tighter and cry.
Did your kid like it?
No.
Yeah, that's the thing about a lot of those movies that are supposed to be like critically acclaimed. I remember it took Gwen to see Wall-E, and she was like, "This movie sucks, man."
Yeah.
And when it was over, I was like, "That was actually good."
Wall-E's incredible. I love Wall-E.
I was like, "That was actually good. That's got a good message and everything." And she was like, "Kind of boring." And then I took her to see God damn it, the Peabody and Sherman.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
a jam.
I was like, I was miserable for me, and she was like, it was great.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah, it kind of.
I like wacky cartoons. I prefer wacky nonsense cartoons over like somebody trying to teach lessons and shit.
I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't want to think anything educational was good.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to think I was learning while I was watching something.
Right.
These kids now are a little bit different from me.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, well, you know, you learn a lesson too.
They're like done with the movie and they're like, I'm going to try to be more emotionally available, Mom.
I don't see any of the Pixar movies, but I do always get the distinct vibe that, like, they're maybe for older kids. Like, my daughter liked Soul. My daughter liked Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out was brilliant.
Yeah. She really liked those movies.
Sure.
Her and Katie would be sitting and watching them and crying.
Yeah.
The Day of the Dead one, I think they really like. Coco.
Oh, I was thinking like the zombie movies.
That would be tight. Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, Coco was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, they like them a lot. I liked Wall-E. That's the only one I like.
Charlotte loves Toy Story a lot, but not Toy Story 1 because Jessie isn't in it.
Jessie?
Jessie's the cowgirl.
Ah, so she's like, there's got to be a girl.
Yeah.
Or I'm not watching this shit.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
That's true,
That's
though.
her stance.
That is how my daughter was, when she hated cartoons growing up and she didn't know how to explain it. And she'd be like, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch something with real people.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay. Like Hannah Montana, which is basically what it always was. Like, that's how I knew my daughter was kind of like me, was that everything that entertained her when she was a kid was stuff that that was like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Saved by the Bell was a show that I loved growing up. And my parents fucking hated it. And same thing with, this might have just been racism, but Martin, my parents hated that show. I thought it was the funniest show ever made.
Yeah, my parents like Martin.
Yeah, my parents would get mad at me for watching In Living Color and Martin. Like, all the time. They would be like, oh, you're supposed to watch America's Funniest Home Video. They really wanted us. They thought America's Funniest Home Video was the funniest show of all time.
Yeah.
And at the time, you got to admit that, like, seeing people get hit in the nuts was pretty funny. But, like... Yeah.
I still watch it. It's fun.
It's crazy that you still watch it because
with Alfonso.
What?
Alfonso Ribeiro?
Yeah, but I mean, what do you get? I guess they're curating the videos for you?
Yes, it's curated and you turn it on. You don't have to, you don't have to like scroll or anything. You get the awkward banter with the crowd, which is always funny. You get to see people that dress up nice to be on TV. You get to see their clothes.
That's true. That's true. Okay. That sold me with the getting to see people dressed up nice. Because I do like seeing people get dressed up nice.
There's lots of redneck dads that are like a good sport on the video, but are not going to dress up to go on the TV show. Or are going to do like an awkward, like slick their hair back type thing, you know?
Because I was going to say, like, I would rather just search for a fails compilation. But now you've added some production value to fails compilations, and I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's a cheap show to make. People love going to see it live, you know?
The songs they add, you know, the commentary.
Yeah. Hey, where am I going here? Hey, where am I going? Oh, right in the nuts.
Yeah. It's good.
Even our voice.
But they should bring the jackalope back. I mean,
I don't know what the jackalope is.
Okay.
Have starred in some of the biggest cartoons in Hollywood. One of our executive producers, Connor Boyack, is the author of the books and has fought against unjust laws for almost a decade. And
what? Wait, what was that one more time?
One of our executive producers is the author of the books and has fought against unjust laws for almost a decade.
Okay. Oh,
Should we see
a lawyer?
I guess we should see what he fought against, because my guess is that they're not unjust laws.
As the creator and showrunner, I co-founded Harmon Brothers, an ad agency that has driven over $500 million in sales for brands like Purple, Lumi, and Squatty Potty. And if we can sell millions of dollars of bathroom products, I'm pretty sure we can sell some freedom. Now, animation isn't...
I think that's harder to sell than Squatty Potties.
Yeah. People don't need this type of freedom.
No, people don't care.
We don't need the freedom to fall in line with your, like, waspy fucking lifestyle.
Yeah.
Incredibly expensive. And most major film projects are heavily subsidized with government money funded by taxpayers like you. We're not doing that. We've already turned down that money. Instead, we're doing it the fair way, letting you invest in the show and share in any possible profits. In a time where individual freedoms are being unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Where he said that individual freedoms are being unconstitutionally squashed, it's COVID-19 lockdowns. And it says COVID-19 mask mandates.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah. And then the next screen is Twitter. And then it says censored in the background.
Okay. Okay. I'm being upfront about it now.
You're reading the Tuttle Twins book.
This is what you're investing in.
You read the Tuttle Twins book, and it's like, and then Q showed up on 8chan.
To guide the nation towards freedom.
Had some very interesting things to say about freedom. And then we had the greatest president we've ever had, but he lost because the liberals invented coronavirus.
Taken away on the daily. The world needs to hear this message of freedom now more than ever.
Okay.
If you want to help bring this show to life.
Okay.
What are they not free to do?
I make your kids learn about other people, probably. You know.
Okay. Yeah, have concern for other people. Have concern for the environment. Not freak out because someone chooses a different partner than you would, you know?
Yep. Yeah. Not have to make cakes for people that are trying to get married, of course.
Right. Freedom. You have the freedom to not dress how you want if it doesn't confirm with the gender that the hospital assigned to you.
Yeah. Here we go. It is a Mormon, by the way. He's a Mormon.
Okay.
The author is.
Okay.
Meet the activist who's bringing conservatives on board the police reform movement. Oh, I think he's a libertarian. I think he's more of a libertarian.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
he runs cop watch in his neighborhood too.
He might be like a Radley Balco type, or like a
What did you say? He's trying to get conservatives to do police
review.
Hey, if somebody has a cardboard license plate, that's not a reason to pull them over. Yeah. They're not harming anybody in the community. They've identified themselves. You know, you have identification. You can read their cardboard license plate.
Oh, this is one of his this is one of the beginning of one of his blog posts. A tragically large number of God's children decided to reject his plan and follow Lucifer. This war in heaven, which continues today, was triggered by a cunning counterfeit proposal that seduced many. What? We know that Lucifer's supposed plan would have, if implemented, destroyed the agency of man. This scriptural signal conveys to us the importance of agency, for if the enemy of all righteousness attempted to undermine it, we would therefore value it. So
intense. That's intense.
Yeah. So
Lucifer. So we have to buy the Tuttle Twins book or Lucifer gets his way.
Yeah, there's probably some. Now I feel like there's probably some Lucifer.
Lucifer's printing all these school textbooks that teach about freedom of expression and using your rights.
Another blog post: the LDS church should abandon the Boy Scouts, but for the right reasons. And those right reasons are definitely the LGBTQ stuff.
Oh, yes.
Following the BSA's announcement that it would no longer prohibit openly gay adult leaders.
Here we go.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints made an announcement of its own as the largest sponsoring organization of the scouting program.
Here it is. Freedom to hate. That's what it always is. Freedom to hate. Freedom to discriminate. Yeah, great. Love this loving message of the fucking Tuttle Twins, and so glad that your fucking brainwashed children are part of this. You're such a genius ad agency guy. It reminds me of the people that go to boycott the abortion center here in Columbus. They drive from like Frazeysburg, Ohio. They come with a van full of kids. And so you have like 15-year-olds out there trying to convince women not to get a fucking abortion.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful. And they're just saying shit that their parents, brainwashed them with. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there we go. I mean, that is a very weird thing that I found. Thanks to K. Thor Jensen turned me on to it. Who knew it was a Mormon thing? It ended up just being a Mormon thing.
Yeah, it turns out it's just homeschool Mormon bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really tell what this guy believes in the police. But he does remain silent during the Pledge of Allegiance. So there is that.
Okay, because he doesn't want to pledge allegiance, right?
Yeah,
probably. He probably thinks that if he says that his soul is bound to America or something.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ doesn't own his soul anymore. Now America owns his soul. If you say the pledge.
Yeah, and I also just think he's the kind of libertarian guy that he's like the type of libertarian guy that is like against cops and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we agree on the war on drugs and like all that stuff. But then you say some shit about like pollution that's like, I don't like that. Well, we disagree there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the right to organize at work.
Yeah.
No freedoms for unions. I doubt that.
No, he's not that's not a freedom, Brett. Being in a union.
That's brainwashing. That's Lucifer shit.
That is Lucifer shit.
Because you're not on your own. You're not thinking anymore. You don't have a one-on-one relationship. You're now part of the group that doesn't know about freedom and how to think free. You're part of the Lucifer's army.
I think it really does piss me off how I know why, or maybe not perfectly why, but like I understand like that they're not ideologically consistent conservatives ever. Sure. But, like, their hatred of unions is so annoying to me. And I think it's just because the unions have traditionally been associated with the left in America is what they don't like about them. Yeah. But they seem like such a conservative idea. It's like, hey, the workers decided how much their work is worth, and now they're telling the bosses that that's how much their work is worth. Yeah. And these conservatives are just like, well, no, the boss tells you how much your work is worth. And it's like, why would you want that? What kind of freedom does that lead to?
Yeah. Yeah, they believe you pay people to suffer and then they'll choose not to suffer anymore. And then you save their life by teaching them about freedom.
That's true, yeah. And then you teach your kids about it.
And then you teach your kids.
With the Tuttle Twins.
All right, well, thanks for listening to Street Fight Radio. We appreciate all y'all that showed up. I promise I'm not having a horrible time. And if you see me tweeting, it's because I think it's funny. Not because I'm, like, trying to bum you out.
He's fine. That's why I keep telling everybody. I'm like, Brett's fine. I promise you that if I thought there was something going on, that, like, first of all, I wouldn't tell you, person that DM'd me out of nowhere. But also that, I'm here. Like, if things look really bad, I am perfectly capable of, like, taking action. And like helping Brett work through them, like I'm not gonna just be on Twitter joking around and grab ass, and if Brett's really in crisis, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling, everybody. Not calling. Thanks for watching. We will see you on Sunday with a call-in show. I got a couple of good people lined up. It should be a lot of fun. Last week was great, and that is it. We'll see you. We're Street Fight. Oh yeah, also Dungeons and Dragons stream. Sorry, D&D stream next Thursday night. We're doing it, jumping back into Rapid City, so be there. Get ready.
Or be square.
Thursday night.